guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called 5 Things American Tourists Shouldn't Wear in Europe. I do not know, but I think probably Europeans dress a little bit more, I don't know if elegant, but maybe less because they're casual. But I think, I don't know, they don't go out in their pajamas, which I think a lot of Americans feel they don't really care. They just go to Costco with their pajamas and their slippers, and I think that's probably the main difference. I think that would be frowned upon in Europe. But I don't know, I don't want to commit a faux pas if I'm in Europe, so let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Rome in front of the Roman Forum here. And today we have for you our 5 things most likely American tourists shouldn't wear when they do come to Europe, because I see a lot of my fellow Americans traveling around and making some fashion faux pas. And no, I'm not a fashionista. This isn't about how you should dress and things like that. This is my advice for 5 things you shouldn't wear so you can fit in better, feel more comfortable, and be a little bit safer when you're wearing the right clothes when you travel.
I'm scared about
okay,
the
so
part,
this is a fashionista thing. This is a helping you travel better video, okay? And the first things first, baseball caps. You do not wear a baseball cap when you come to Europe. I see a lot of guys wearing them. Yes, you might be bald like me, or balding, slightly balding. Get a normal hat. Don't get a baseball cap, because that gives it away every single time. And especially if you wear it backwards, it just screams you're from the US, okay? If you're not from the US, that's what it says. And when you go around, you'll see not a lot of people do wear baseball caps, especially with like a New York Yankees logo or Boston or whatever. So make sure you kind of stay away from that one. Okay. Second thing not to wear for my guy travelers, khaki pants. Look, Europeans, they wear pants, they wear slacks, they wear tight jeans, stuff like that, but they do not wear khakis, okay? Your Dockers, you're not bringing those to Europe. You might say, but they're really comfortable. Yes, they are really comfortable, but that's not what people wear around here. So what
It's really funny because I hadn't thought of this, but I think the khakis are a very American thing.
trying to help you do is fit in better, so you don't stick out as the tourist that people want to pickpocket and rob. You can fit more in like a local. Look, I don't look very much like a local because I'm a big fat guy, but that doesn't mean I can't fit in, okay? So khakis, sorry guys. Sorry Dockers people, don't bring them with you, okay? Third don't I have for you when you come here is don't wear athleisure wear or athletic wear when you come here. I know in the US you see a lot of people wearing their Under Armour t-shirts and they've got their Adidas pants or sports pants on, stuff like that, yoga pants, things like that. Here in Europe, people don't wear the athletic leisure clothes as normal clothes. They wear those athletic clothes to go to the gym, to go running, to go biking, things like that. I know in the US it's kind of a normal thing, but here we don't use it, okay? Just letting you know that. And our next don't, which kind of follows with that, is don't wear your big baggy US University sweatshirt. I'm here in May and there's a lot of US travelers, backpackers here, you know, from colleges, and they got their Wisconsin logo on them or their Illinois logo on them, or Harvard stuff on there, and it just screams, I'm a tourist, come rob me. And
but do they wear the logo of their colleges? I think that's normal. Well, sort of. Maybe not, right?
You'll notice that people around here, they're not wearing hoodies. They're not wearing those baggy sweatshirts.
Okay, so about the hoodie.
With the big graphic prints on the front. So you might want to stay away from that one. Now, I told you, sometimes I mess up on these too. I wear my Walter's World logo sometimes, so you do have that. And all these are really up to you. I'm just trying to help you fit in better so you can have a better time and meet more locals and not get picked on with a lot of selfie stick, need a selfie stick, these kind of things, all right? And my 5th don't for you is don't wear sports shoes. Here's the thing, is you'll see people here in Europe wearing sports shoes and stuff like that, but they're more like city street shoes versus like running Nike shoes or Under Armour.
Yeah, in the United States, I think most, I think especially men, well, no, for women as well, you're going to wear, if you have to do a lot of walking, you're going to go for your sneakers.
Shoes or Reeboks or whatever. So I would stay away from that, because if you have on your normal sports shoes from the US with your white socks, it is usually a dead giveaway that you're from the US. So what you might want to do is you might want to get, I wear stuff like this, you know, kind of like a easy to wear, slip on, slip off, which is great for TSA kind of travel shoe. And it kind of fits in because it's not a sports shoe, but it gives me some support, and I kind of fit in a bit better with that. So you do have that. So anyway, those are my 5 things you shouldn't wear when you're traveling. Oh, if you're a female traveler going along with the shoes, don't bring your high heels. With all the cobblestones and stuff like that, you're going to have some issues. I've seen more than one traveler wipe out on her high heels because of the cobblestones. I've seen some get stuck in the grates, sometimes stuck in the cobblestone. If you're going to be going out to a fancy dinner or something, okay, you can bring them, but you're not going to wear them around town because it's not practical. All right?
You're going to walk a lot.
I hope that helped. No, I'm not a fashionista, but I am a traveler that wants to help other travelers travel better. So there are 5 honest tips about things my fellow travelers shouldn't wear when they're traveling. If you want to learn more, we've got 10 things that'll shock you about coming to Rome, 5 things you'll love and hate about Italy, all on our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we really appreciate your likes, subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in Italy. And no matter what you wear, just have a good time and be safe. And if you want to wear a baseball cap with a big sweatshirt and high heels, that's fine too. It's okay. I just wanted to help out a bit. Bye from Rome. So I hope you liked that video. If you want to see some more videos, if you click over here, you get videos to kind of relate to what you've been watching. It's kind of stuff that you actually like and things like that. If you want to see our newest video, you click over here and that'll give you the newest video. So wherever we're at these days, you can check that one out. And if you click that subscribe button, it's like a circle with the Walters World logo that, you know, with the train and the guy on it. You click on that, you'll be subscribed. So why don't you do that? I mean, you can do it on your phone. Just put that thumb, boop. You think about it, you can put your thumb like over my face to try to find the right one and be like, beep. It'll be great. See, look, thumb. There you go.
Yeah, I think this went along the lines that I was expecting. And I did mention it earlier. I think because it's not, again, it's weird because I don't think it's about being casual or not, but maybe kind of is. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to parse this, but I really do think that's a little bit of the main difference. I think especially when it comes to sports clothes, athleisure wear, you know, it's a whole sort of, the sneakers thing. I think that's such an American thing. I don't know if all Europe it's like this, but I just think people are, because I don't want to say this, they're dressed, their type of style, I think it's a little bit fancier, because it's not as if they're going, I don't know, they're going with a tuxedo and with a tie. No, of course not. But it's just about, I don't know, maybe casual, but in a more fancier way. I don't know how to put this, but I think Americans in general are just very, again, and this of course, this does, like he mentioned, of course, this is about personal style. You can dress however you want to. Of course, I think Europeans, if you're an European that loves to wear athleisure, of course that exists. And if you're an American that loves to wear, fancier clothes out, of course that's a thing. And especially, I think when it comes to the United States, I think this is very, very true, specifically if you live, like he said, you're a little bit of fashionista. Yeah, of course. I think some people just really like clothes. And of course, if you like clothes, your sense of style, I think, is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to not be the same as the medium sort of American and the average American. And I think well, not always, but I think maybe this is more common in big cities. I think, of course, you have New York, you have LA, especially I think New York, it's people just dress in a very particular way that you wouldn't find in the Midwest, for instance, or, in the South, obviously has their own sort of fashion style as well. So it varies by region, and the Pacific Northwest, they all have, they dress very differently as well. But again, it's sort of in a medium, if you're talking about average, the average American citizen. I think they're just more specifically, and especially more, again, the suburban type medium American that lives in the Midwest or just a suburban normal city. It's going to be more of that, sneakers, leggings, sweatshirt, the baseball cap. That I hadn't thought of this before, that's a very American thing. The concept of wearing a baseball cap. I'm wondering, they wear hats, right? Yeah, because I'm thinking, if you want to protect yourself, from the sun, especially, again, if you're going to do a lot of walking, you're in the cities, and, you want to protect yourself from the sun because that's important. You get a sunburn, sun cancer, whatever. It's, it's important that you protect your skin. So what exactly are you going to be wearing? So yeah, of course, a baseball cap. I think that would be the normal. You would grab a baseball cap because that's the normal thing. But apparently that's a very American thing. Europeans do not wear baseball caps, which is weird to me because it's okay. So what? Do they just wear hats? all hats, a fedora. What are they wearing? Like, I think I have to look it up. Is, what are you wearing then? Maybe a white brim hat, but I relate that more. I don't know, winter. No, but actually no. During the summer, you can have sort of a summer hat. I get it, but maybe I'm thinking about this as a woman. I don't think so. What would men wear? And they're men's hat, yeah. But I think I don't know. I'm a fedora. That's I think my mind just goes to a fedora. A Panama hat. I don't know. I'm thinking about summery things, but the baseball cap. I hadn't thought of this. But maybe instead of baseball cap, maybe they wear, because I know that in Europe, baseball is not that much of a, that sport is not really that popular. But maybe they're wearing soccer or football caps. That's a thing? That's maybe not a thing, right? I'm trying to think about, if you have a team, yeah, because I think baseball caps are just very popular. I can think of a millions, just Chicago Cubs or whatever. Yes, I'm seeing baseball caps and I'm thinking, yes, it's a baseball logo or some sort of other logo of a company or whatever. But I'm not thinking, oh yeah, what a team, a football, as in soccer team. I don't think they're weird, does that kind of merch exist? Because I think not. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a cap, a football cap with the logo of a team. I don't think so. I've seen shirts. I think those are very popular when it comes to that sport. The shirts, yeah, of course, there is in Rome. So I know the Rome, I don't know what's the team, but in Italy, you have the Milan, right? The Inter. And I think those are popular sort of football teams over there. And I know I've seen t-shirts, but I don't think I've ever seen the caps. So maybe they outright do not sell them. They do not make these. So, okay, if I want to see, which I think it's just something interesting, because I think if you want to show your support that that's your team, I think, yeah, of course. And a European goes, yes, I want to get the shirt, because the shirt is really, I want to show my support, and I want people to know that this is my team. So I'm gonna wear my Barcelona shirt or my Milan shirt. But when it comes to the American counterparts, they're not thinking specifically of shirts. It's more about, no, I'm going to have on my baseball cap. But I think that's where it comes. Yeah, because even though, Americans really, of course, they some do like football. But obviously baseball, I think, is just more of a popular sport. So I think that's where it comes from. And it's not even about fashion. I think it's just one of those cultural differences in which one country enjoys this sport more than the other. I would go say, I don't know if I'm crazy about this, but I think, and I would venture to say, maybe football in the United States is even a little bit more popular than baseball is in Europe, because I don't think because I think some people, maybe it's just because Europe I think is huge, of course, but I think in the United States maybe you can find some people that oh yeah, this is my team. I do follow football, not the American football. I follow the soccer, and they're gonna be, you're gonna find them. It's not that not that everyone does it, but well, of course, not everyone also follows baseball. Some people just don't like sports, but in general, I think you can find people that actually do follow football. But in Europe, I don't think, ask anyone, hey, what's the MLB, who's winning? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know much about baseball either, clearly, because it's not about who's winning. But again, it was, you're going, who's going to the major leagues? I don't know how it works. But if you ask this question in Europe, I don't think Europeans are gonna be. It would be very hard to find. And I'm going to say of Europe, that includes obviously Italy, Germany, the UK, Greece, whatever. Is ask any European person, hey, what do you think of the season? Like, who are you think is going? No, it's when it comes to baseball, probably people are gonna be blanking out completely, because it's simply something that they have no idea. They just do not follow this. And again, maybe it's just because baseball is just no one talks about baseball there. No one cares about baseball. It's just not something that's played. Maybe even I don't know, but maybe they don't even have sort of a league or sport or teams. Probably, they do not have this. So I think that obviously explains the whole sort of baseball cap. And I think that would be probably that would be the easiest way for you to be recognized as, oh, that's an American tourist. Because I think, you can find tourists from anywhere in the world, but maybe that's how you get recognized as the American tourist, is the baseball cap, especially if you put it on backwards, which I hadn't noticed. That, oh yeah, apparently Europeans do not wear the baseball cap backwards, which I think would defeat the whole purpose, right? Because if you're using your baseball cap as a protection from the sun, well, you're not gonna put it on backwards, right? It's no, because I'm doing a fashion statement, and that's another thing, and not putting it on backwards. That's really important. I hadn't thought of this, and of course, again, the khakis, I also hadn't thought of. It's a very American thing. Actually, I thought, I don't know, foolishly, naively, I thought, oh, maybe some other countries wore them. Maybe not throughout all Europe, but I thought, oh, maybe there are some countries in Europe where that's popular. No, apparently, absolutely not. And I know some people absolutely hate khakis, but it's funny that, oh no, do not wear them. No, do not pack them in your suitcase. But I think the most important, and the sweatshirts, I had that question about the whole. Is it because because that's really, and even t-shirts or sweatshirts with the college on with the logo with your college on it. I think that's, again, I hadn't associated that with the United States. I thought that was a normal thing. But I think maybe it's not about the logo itself, the college thing. Maybe it's about the sweatshirt. Maybe they just do not wear sweatshirts, but I'm pretty sure I've seen sweatshirts in Europe. But I think maybe that's the thing. You're not with the logo. You're seeing sweatshirts as in with no logo. It's just a plain sweatshirt with some other pattern, some other, made out of some other kind of fabric. But not that. Obviously during the summer, of course not. But I think maybe during the winter. But maybe, again, that's the thing. If you have a really harsh winter, you're not wearing a sweatshirt. You're wearing an actual winter coat, so maybe that's where the difference comes from. I don't know. I think that I can talk about this for a long time. And the sports shoes, I think that's probably the harder thing about this. I don't know. Because if you have to walk a lot, you're thinking, again, I'm gonna grab my sneakers because sneakers are comfortable and you can walk a long time on them. And cobblestone streets, which I think can be very hard on your feet. Again, wear your sneakers, but it apparently because it's a very touristy thing. But I get it, because of course if you're not, maybe, I don't know, it's just different. Because if you're living there, and obviously again the residents of Europe, European residents, they have other shoes. It's not like, oh, I'm wearing my sneakers when I'm going out, I'm going for a run, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to work out. That they're usually, when they're walking normally, of course you're going to be wearing other type of shoes. Although maybe I think in the recent-ish years, although I think that's maybe a little bit out of fashion these days, athleisure was a thing, was trendy. And I think a lot of people were starting to wear sneakers as because it's a fashion trend. Maybe it's not a thing about being European, but it's about being a fashion trend. But I think these days, I think that's going out of style. So maybe that's, yes, they're going back to, like he said, wear slip-ons and boots, maybe sandals. I think there's flat sandals. There's so much other there's a whole other type of footwear that you can use. But ultimately, I like what he said. It's you can wear whatever you like. It's not about, oh, you're not going to be denied entry if they find you with your khakis, no, and your baseball cap. It's just going to be about, if you don't want to be recognized as a tourist and you want to blend in a little bit better, yeah, you can follow these tips. But it's not a norm, or just not a rule that you need to follow, because of course you're going to have your own style. So maybe you don't care, because no, I don't care about blending in. I just care about, I don't know, I have my own sense of style and I don't really care. Then go ahead, wear whatever you like. It's not really about being, about anything. Although I will say though, the heels, that bring, again, if you're going out for dinner, of course, but no wear heels. The cobblestones are gonna, the heels gonna be stuck, especially stilettos are gonna be stuck in the little pavement, sort of in the cobbles, and it's gonna be a disaster, and you're gonna be in a lot of pain. So that would be my one piece of advice. But ultimately, yeah, wear whatever you like. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.